Yes, children, in the continuation of our module of gravitation, today we are going to see the gravitation and Newton's third law of motion. Gravitation and Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion. Let us see here. We have already studied Newton's third law of motion, that is this one. And what is that? According to this law, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. We know very well. It means if an object A exerts some force on another object B, this is the object B, here is the object A, here is the object B. I mean to say, if an object A exerts some force on another object B, then the object B exerts an equal and opposite force on the object A. So this law applies to the force of gravitation also. How it is, let us see. So now children, I want to see here, we see that when apple falls towards the earth, like this, when the apple falls towards the earth, what happened? Due to gravitational pull of the earth on it, as a reaction, the apple also exert an equal force of attraction on earth in opposite direction. Is it clear? एक force इधर लग रहा है, दूसरा force इधर लग रहा है. In this example also we can see that is towards the apple. But then why we do not see the earth rising towards the apple? जब एप्पल भी फोर्स लगा रहा है अर्थ पर, तो व्हाई वी कांट सी द अर्थ राइजिंग? नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू क्लियर. द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन कैन बी गिवन बाय न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. दिस आंसर कैन बी गिवन बाय न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. नाउ according to which force is equal to mass into acceleration, I know. So acceleration is equal to force upon mass. Is it clear? This is the Newton's second law of motion. Now, so for a given force, acceleration produced varies inversely as the mass. We can see here, A is proportional to 1 by m. So force on earth exerted by the apple, force on earth exerted by apple equal to force on apple exerted by earth. Is it clear? Both the forces are equal and opposite, but mass of the earth is too large. When mass of the earth is too large, then acceleration of the earth is very small. So mass of the earth is too large compared to the mass of the apple. Here is apple. Therefore, acceleration produced in earth is very small. Acceleration produced in earth is small. It is clear? That is why earth is not seen rising towards the apple. Is it clear? So this is the region. We can easily understand it. Now, write down. Yes. Now children, in the continuation of this, we are going to see Kepler's law of planetary motion. Kepler's law of planetary motion, PLANETARY, planetary motion. Here we are going to see Kepler's law of planetary motion. So children, we are living on the planet Earth. There has always been a great interest in the study of motion of planet. We are going to see that was seen by first Kepler. He collected a large number of data. Here first we are going to see Kepler's first law. We are going to see Kepler's first law. Every planet revolves around the sun, every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit. सर ये इलेप्टिकल ऑर्बिट क्या होता है? जस्ट यू कैन इमेजिन ए शेप ऑफ एग, अंडे का जो आकार होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड इलेप्टिकल शेप. तो इलेप्टिकल ऑर्बिट विथ द सन is situated at any one of the foci, that is the plural of focus. It is a point in the ellipse. Just we are going to see. So sun is situated at any one of the foci of the ellipse. It is a particular shape. That is we are going to draw. Here you can see an elliptical shape like this. Draw this. Here you can see this is an elliptical shape. This elliptical shape, this is the major axis and this is the minor axis. AB. Here is A and B. And here is C and D. Here is C and D. AB is the major axis and CD is the minor axis. It is clear this point is D. Say. So in this figure, AB is called the major axis of the ellipse and CD is called the minor axis of the ellipse. And these are the 2 points, one here and another one here, F1 and F2. F1 and F2 are the 2 foci of the ellipse lying on this major axis. This is the position of sun. So according to the Kepler's first law, the sun could be either at F1 or at F2. Either at F1 or F2. This is called Kepler's first law. Write down. Now, Kepler's second law. The detailed study of Kepler's law of planetary motion in 11th class also. Kepler's second law. Kepler's second law. This one. In the elliptical orbit of the planet, the planet, in the elliptical orbit of the planet, the line joining the center, the line joining the center, the line joining the center of the planet, center of the planet to the center of the sun, to the center of the sun, sweeps equal areas, sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time, in equal interval of time, equal interval of time. How it is, I am going to explain. Dear children, suppose this is our elliptical orbit and this is the position of our sun. Suppose this is the position of sun. One planet around the sun, suppose it starts from the point P1 and after some time say reaches at a point P2. So it covers this much of area. When the planet starts moving from here, at the same time another planet starts from the point P3. Another planet. जब ये स्टार्ट करा तब ये स्टार्ट कर रहा है and in the same time suppose it reaches at a point P4. So it covers this area. Now, then what is that? So Kepler gives a law that any planet starts moving from one point to the another, then the line joining the center of the planet to the sun sweeps out equal areas. तो ये एरिया और ये एरिया दोनों सेम होंगे अगर समय इक्वल इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम है तो. Now let us see. So this is, I can write here that the area of this triangle OP1 P2 is equal to area of OP3 P4. Both are same. So I can say the sun is at the position O, which is the one foci of the elliptical orbit. It is the one position or one foci. It is called the time interval of the planet from P1 to P2 is the same as that of from P3 to P4. Then according to this law, I can write this. Area of OP1 P2 is equal to area of OP3 P4. So I can say a arc P1 P2, arc P1 P2 is smaller than the arc P3 P4. P1 P2 is smaller than the arc P3 P4. This arc is more. It means that speed of the planet is greater when it is closer to the sun. तो ये वाला प्लेनेट फास्ट स्पीड से चल रहा है, समझ लीजिए आप. स्पीड ऑफ द प्लेनेट इज ग्रेटर, स्पीड ऑफ द प्लेनेट is greater when it is closer to the sun. Here, then its speed when it is further away from the sun. ये दूर है, यहां पर स्पीड कम होगी, यहां ज्यादा होगी. Thus, according to the Kepler's second law, a planet does not move around the sun with a constant speed. Is it clear? This is the very important law. So I write down Kepler's second law. Now, Kepler's third law. Kepler's third law. Here. The square of the time period of revolution, here is the elliptical orbit. This is the major axis, this is the minor axis. Here is the position of sun. A planet is moving like this. एक पूरा चक्कर लगाने में जो समय लगेगा वो टाइम पीरियड कहलाएगा. The square of the time period of revolution of a planet around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit here. Write down first, then I am explaining. Let T be the time period of revolution of a planet. T is the time period of revolution of a planet. I mean to say, time taken by the planet to complete one revolution around the sun. Is it clear? That is called time period. Now, R is the semi-major axis of elliptical orbit. Here is A and here is B, say. So this R is equal to AB by 2. That is the mean distance of planet from the sun. Here. So according to the Kepler's third law, T square is proportional to R cube. This one. Write down. So this is the third law of Kepler's third law. So just you have to remember it. Now, we take one simple problem based on the gravitational force. One simple numerical we are going to do. Yes. The gravitational force between the two objects. Suppose here we are the two objects and the gravitational force is F. How will this force change when the distance between them is reduced to half? Distance between them is reduced to half. First. And second, it is asking the mass of each object. The mass of each object is quadrupole QU AD RUPLED. quarter pulse. When the distance between them is reduced to half, I know the formula of Newton's law of gravitation, that is F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. So F is proportional to 1 by r square, I know. When the distance between them, here, this is the distance, that is half. यहाँ सर के यहाँ ले आए, suppose यहाँ पर. So I mean to say that when the distance is reduced to half, or I can say r dash is equal to r by 2. Then I can write the force would be, suppose F dash, that is equal to r dash square. So compare both the forces, F dash by F, F dash by F. F is proportional to 1 by r square. And F dash is equal to 1 by r dash square. So F dash by F, that is equal to r square divided by r dash ka square. R square divided by r dash is equal to r by 2. That is r by 2. That is equal to r square by r square into 4 upper. I mean to say that the force is equal to 4 times when the distance reduced to half. Is it clear? It's a very simple question. You may easily do it. Force becomes 4 times the previous value. Again, according to the Newton's second law of motion, we know that the force is directly proportional to m1 into m2, both the mass of object. This is the force between the two objects of masses m1 and m2. When mass of the each object is quadrupled, QU AD RUPLED, quadrupled, it seems that the M1 dash is equal to 4 times of M1 and M2 dash is 4 times of M2. So I can write here the new force becomes F dash is M1 into M2. M1 dash and M2 dash. Put here values and divide both the forces. F dash divided by F is equal to M1 dash M2 dash divided by M1 into M2. M1 dash, that is 4M1. M2 dash, that is 4M2 divided by M1 into M2. Here. Now you are getting here force is equal to 16. Or I can say F dash is equal to 16 of F. The force becomes 16 times its previous value. It is clear? Here it is given in question. The force becomes 4 times to that of initial value. Write down.